So hi everybody and welcome back to this C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 213 and in this video we continue with our exercise. In my last video I said I will show you now my random bubble sort, and we stopped here with the picture that I showed you in step 0. Let's show step 0 again. The step 0 was I watched Wikipedia. That was this one. I made a picture of this one, which is that one here, and now I will create this bubble sort with my random ideas, and I will go now step by step through how I will create this. So before I go to do this, I will not go through my code here because it's very hard to follow, and the reason for that is when you can see here my sort starts and my step 1 is here too, and then we have here step 27 and then again 27, and then you can see the steps here are not continue in a one line, right? So they are jumping through the code, and the reason for that is because we are developing a code. Developing means I don't know that this step 2, for example, here you can see it's commented out. This I made as my second step here after the step 1, but this second step was bad. Later I realized this, but when I made the second step I don't know, because I don't know the future, right? And so on. And that's the reason why I jumped here over the place and it's hard to follow. Instead, what I want to do is I want to go through the steps and recreate the sort in another. So I just copied the whole part here to this place, and I have to comment this out. If I don't comment this out, I would and try to compile this one, I would get a linking error because this one and this one has some classes which is created here and here, and we will talk about this linking a little bit more in future when we learn how to use different files here. But right now just know that's why this all is out commented, and now I just select all, let's uncomment all, and now I will show it. So this whole code here is the same like here without this one, without the sort. Here I start from scratch. The whole sort part here will be made from scratch. All right, let's get started. So step 0 we talked already. That was just this picture, this Wikipedia, and this picture. And this picture here I will extend because in this picture I will show you my ideas. So step 1 is, okay, we want to make a sort, and my step 1 says I want to make a sort with a function. Okay, let's create a function. And how we create a function, we learned this already. And let's go first here to the right place. Where is that linked list? Was the wrong place. It should be here anywhere. Of course, I'm all-time blind when I need it. Okay, that's bad. Why I stuck? Here is it. Okay, and here. So I create the first step is, let's write here step 1 is I create a function, because there are different things what you can make. I decided to create a separate function, and we know when we create a function what we do all time is we have a return type if we need one. In my case, I start with void because I don't need a return type, but this can be changed in future. I don't know it right now. And then I find a good name. In my case, sort linked list, because I want just sort it. Here I have not called it bubble sort. Perhaps I should even name this sort linked list with bubble sort so that I indicate this one. Perhaps it's bad because here we don't know what kind of sort I use. So what I can do here is perhaps change this. And like I showed you in my last video, how you can change this when you are not happy with a name, All right, we select this one, so sort linked list, right click, or you click here Control R 2 times, and then just rename it. And let's call this not sort linked list. Let's call sort linked list bubble sort bubble try sort linked list like bubble sort, like bubble sort, like bubble sort. That is strange, but okay. And I can go here to preview again, and then you can see the places where this one will be changed. And I say okay. So you can see I changed this, I saved this, and normally you should check this because it could be problematic, which means here I have to select all, comment this out because Control Z, because let me show you what happens if you just copy one file to another. Then you will get linker error, and I want to show you this linker error as well. So let me start this. And here you can see there are these linker errors on the bottom. It says linking error, but let's see if this is the main error or is this just linking error. Because there are two things. You are not allowed to use main 2 times, but here is main. And this is not the error here. So you can see here I have called it main2 to avoid this, but there are other errors like defining a class. I have already defined a class here, for example, this node class, and I defined, because it's a copy, I defined this node class here. And this kind of linking we will talk in future, like I said, when we learn this header files, CPP files, different files, and how they are linked together, what you have to consider. But right now, just for this purpose, I want to show you that when you make something similar like this, so copying code, or you have here on the right side different things, just comment them out, because if they share some classes with other classes, they can be, cause problems. So with that said, I showed you this one. So what I do is all time to test, I select this one all, I comment this one out for this purpose. And then now I can start this. You can see we can start this one here. And now I test just if this is still working. Yes, it is working, all fine. And with that said, we can continue. So here I go back, I comment uncommented now, and I jump to the place where we was. That was our step 1, that was here, and I said I want to create a function, and here we repeated how to create a function. I start with a void function, and this parameter actually I don't know right now. Oh, wrong, I know it. What parameter I need here? So think about it. We want sort a linked list. So I need the linked list parameter here, but you have to remember a linked list is not like an array, right? The array is you give here an array and then you have it, but a linked list is that you have a head pointer, and the head pointer is pointing to the first element. That's very important that you remember this. Let's go here to the picture. So, and let's make here a head pointer because that's very important. Let me use this. I write here head instead, but it is the head pointer. This is head, and this is pointing. We know this, right? When we created the linked list, we learned we need a head pointer because this head pointer is connecting this linked list, and the nodes itself, they have also a pointer, right? We know this one. The node itself has a pointer, but we have only access from this head pointer. We have no access to this one at start. We need this head pointer to get access to this one, and then from here we can access this one, from here we can access this one, and from here we can access this one. Keep this in mind, that's very important. And that's why I have here this parameter head of linked list. And you can see this is also a little bit different in Wikipedia. They show an array, and what I'm doing is a linked list. So it's a little bit different. All right, so we continue. So we created this one, then my second step is, where is my second step? Let's go there. So my second step is, okay, what I do next. But before showing you this code here, let's think what I do. Let me copy this one at least, because I need this one. My second step, copy this one. My second step is that I show my picture. So, or this animation, we know this, we don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of this one, we know this. But I show now my picture. So what I do from here, I know I have at this point my linked list here, that is here my head. And now I know from this Wikipedia site that I have to compare all time two pairs, right? So for example, I have to compare these two pairs. So, and to compare these two pairs, there are different ways how we can make this. And one way is, for example, you say, okay, you can take here this head pointer and then go here anyhow and make here something. And the easiest way, which I found, is just create two new pointers. You can use pointers as tools, and I said, okay, why not just create here one pointer to this one and create here one pointer here, and now I have two pointers which I can compare. That was my idea. And let's call this first, just so first pointer. This is all time the first position here, first, and this one is just second. All right. I said, okay, because on the Wikipedia site we saw this two will be compared. The bigger number will be swapped if this is not, if the first one is bigger than the second one, and you can see in this case it is, then I will swap them, because I want all time that the bigger number should be go to the right side, and then the bigger number is here, and then I compare this two, and then I will swap it again till I reach this endpoint, and the bigger number will be probably later here. So that was my thought. But before that, I have this idea, right? I create a pointer, I create here a pointer. Let's make this one in our development. So let's go here. I copied this one. Let's call this here step 2, paste in, and let's format this uncomment format, and you can see I created just pointer, and I hope you know how to create pointers. Very simple. You write a variable name. I called it here a little bit long, but it's okay. Swap pointer first position, and this one is just my first. Here I called it a little bit short. Here I like very long names because I want just read one time and try to figure out what it is without rereading it a lot of time. And you can see here it is a pointer. We know here this asterisk indicates a pointer, and important, it must be of type node, because this here is a node, and this node is our created node here, right? We know this. Here, this is this node class. We created this one when we created our linked list. All right, I hope so far it's very easy to follow. So this pointer is pointing to the first one, and the second one should point to the second one. But you can see here, I used here at start a null ptr, because at this point I said, okay, I just create this first two pointers. But now my third step is, all right, after I created this pointers, let's see what my third step is. You can see here is 27. We skip this and we go here to this one here. This is my third step. Let's copy this one. Let's point this one here down. Let's paste this. Let's mark this, uncomment this, format this, and write step 3. Step 3. So and let me explain you. So you can see the pointers here. I need just to assign. So I have created this pointer and I created this as a null PTR at start because normally you should assign a value. But the nice thing about pointers is you can assign a null PTR, which means right now they are pointing nowhere. Keep in mind with references you can't do this. So if you have here an ampersand and a reference, you need all time a reference. And with pointers you can do this. That's very nice. That's why I did. But at the second step is now I know here the first one should point to the first node, right? The second one should point to the second node, and this is my start point. This is my start condition. All right, I said then, okay, I take this one here, this swap position pointer, and then I assign this one here, this head of linked list param, and this parameter comes from here, and this parameter is just our head. So it starts all time here head, and the head pointer, you can see the head is pointing here, and my first one should point here as well. All right, and you can see this is just a normal pointer assignment. And interesting is here, what you can see here, what mistake I have here. It is not a mistake. I changed this during the code, which is I said, wait a minute. When I know that I assign here the first one, why I have to create this line here? I can skip this line and make it here in one line, right? That was so my idea. So after this step 3, I said skip this line. Instead of creating it with a null PTR, I said create here you can see it's exactly the same name here. Create it directly with the thing which I know now. But before I didn't know it, right? But now I know it is here the first one, and the first one is the head, and now I can assign it. So at this point, I know I can assign it here. So, and the second one, interesting, careful about this one is you have to think. We have to the pointer here. We have only access to this node through this pointer here, which means to get access to this pointer, I have to get it from head. Head is calling this one, and then I have used this pointer here to assign my second one. And how I make this, let me show you. I go to my head linked first param, which is my head here. And I say, okay, the head is pointing to this place. All right, that's good. And after you pointed to this place, get me this pointer here. All right, this is the thing what I get, and how we make this head, because this one is a pointer. We learned we need this pointer assignment operator here, because this one is a pointer, and asking for the pointer to next node. So you can see this pointer is my pointer to next node. And now I accessing this one and say, okay, where this pointer, this one is also, this one is a pointer. Let's write here P for pointer. This pointer should be the same like my second here, because it points here. My second should point also where this one is pointing. So they are pointing both to this one here. All right, I think that's so far clear. And the same thing here. You can see again, after I know this thing here, and I see, wait a minute, here I didn't know, here I know it, so I can skip this one. So with other words, what I did here is just removing code because less code. And that's why I have now this step here. All right, that looks not bad. And let's see what I did on my next step. So you can see I just try to develop my ideas. I don't know if it's good, if it's right, if it's bad or good. And let's try it and see what comes out. And sometimes I will make mistakes. I will show you them too. But yeah, so let's go to the next step. Step 4. Let me see where my 4 is. Better I write here F4. It jumps here to 4. We have here different kind of 4s. let's see, where's my 4 here? All right, my step 4 is, you can see my step, let me show you something. My step 1 was here, my step 2 was here, my step 3 was here, and here's a lot of code which I included later. But my step 4 is here. That's interesting. So I want to show you only to the step 4 here and the other code, only that you see this development is not linear. We are jumping backwards, forward, and so on, because I will find errors, I will change the code, I will try it, and then I will fix it, and then I will test it, and then so on. All right, step 4. What I did here is, let's go back to my picture to explain it. My step 4 is, okay, I have now this first pointer, I have now my second pointer, and this bubble sort Wikipedia site showed us that we have just to compare this now. Right now you have the pointer here, point, now you can compare this to. All right, I say I make a compare function. So my step 4 here is just a compare function. In my case, it's not even a function. I made just a if statement. All right, let's copy this step 4 and let's see what I have. Let's make just this one and see what I do there later. So let's copy this one. And at this point, I just add this here. Just so, if, and let's repeat again a little bit, if, what we learned so far. And you can see, I make just a if, and this if is just to compare, that was my step 4. Step 4. This if should just compare this nodes. And now you have to think how to compare this, because there are different kind of compares. In my case, I said, okay, you get the first, this first value, and then you just say if this first value is less in my case, or greater in my case, then I swap it. And this sign, this less or greater, it's very important. And why is this so important? I will show you right now. Oh yes, I should show you right now. And to do so, I have again comment this all out. Let's make this. Oops. Comment. Save. Go back to my original code and show you something. This is the right code again, which is the full code. Let me start this and show you something here. Code 8. And you can see, I try now here the score to sort, right? And this compare function, what I have here right now, you can see is wrong. Why is this wrong? And the point is, you can see it is sorting from little numbers to big numbers. And when we look my picture here, yes, I said I want from I want all the bigger numbers here at the end, right? So I want that my sort algorithms put all to the end here. And this is working. And this one I have defined here with this compare function. You can see here I have this also. But interesting is, if you change this here to less, let's say I change this here to less, then it is ascending. Also then the bigger numbers are on the left side and the little numbers are on the right side. So it is an easy way to change the order, and that's very important, because normally I want not the bigger numbers in a scoring list at the end. I want them on top. And that's why I have to change here my code, and I have to be careful that I change it in all places where I have a swap, which means where I make a comparison. That's if I don't make it in all the right places, I get a problem, but I think I did it now in all places. All right, should be okay. And now when I start the code again, you see I changed just this little comparison function, and I have, what is that? Now let me see this one again. I got an error. Something like that. What's going on? No, it's here. Yeah, it's an error. No, it's not. Coder A, and you can see now here the bigger numbers, so the better scores are on top, and I put all the little numbers here to the end. But the reason why I started here with the reason why I put first all the bigger numbers here at the end is because the bubble sort on Wikipedia was defined so. Because you say all time the bigger numbers go to the end, but you can see just with changing this little compare sign here, you can sort them the other way around. And that's very nice for my situation, because this here now, after I change it, it is the right way to sort, because my score should look like this: 36, 50, 10. And yeah, that was it, what I wanted to show you there. And we can go back to this one, but before I go back, I want to make here again a break so that the video is not too long, but I will continue in the next video exactly from this point, which is which step. Let's see which step we have here. Uncommon, that was step where we are on step 4. And you can see this little sign. We have just discussed this one, how important this one is. You can change here to ascending order or descending order. All right, with that said, I stop this video here. See you in the next video, and like all time, if you have any questions, any comments, write them down in the comment section. See you on the next. Bye, good luck, and like all time, have fun and never give up.